All right, good evening. I call the Planning Commission meeting for Monday, April 6, 2026 to order at 7:03 PM. We'll start with roll call. Chair Tessman, I am present. Vice Chair Kilcup,
Present.
Commissioner Maruziak,
Present.
Commissioner Hurley,
Present.
Commissioner Lambert.
Present.
All right, and we do in fact have a quorum, so thank you all. Agenda approval, I move that we approve the agenda for April 6th, 2026 as written. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None, and that passes. All right, public comment. Are there any members of the public desiring to make comments for items on the agenda? Okay, so we'll forego public comment. Seeing as there are no citizens desiring to make comments. Minutes, I move that we approve the minutes for March 16th, 2026 as written. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None, and that motion passes. New business, looks like staff introduction, so I'll turn it over to Director Davis.
Thank you very much, Chair, and good evening, Commissioners. I'm super excited for this item on the agenda because we've got the A team sitting in front of you here. That's what we've started to call them, but we have a brand new associate planner, and her name is Allison Kirk, and she started with us just last week on April 1st. And so she's hit the ground running. We've been throwing a lot of stuff at her, and she's taken it all in stride, and she's working directly with Ashley that you've met previously, I believe. I think you came to a previous meeting where I was able to introduce you, but Ashley's our planning and permit technician. She's also a rock star. She's been doing all kinds of heavy lifting while we've been really short staffed. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to be able to introduce you to the staff that we have so far and let you know that we're building our department and we're super excited about it. And we've got a great team and we're getting up and running. So anyway, that's my report on that.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you join the team. We've always been appreciative of the service of the planning department staff, community development staff. So welcome aboard and thank you so much. Any other comments?
Could we hear a little bit about their backgrounds? Just like a
Do you guys
1 or 2 minute version? Yeah.
Allison, do you want to just touch a little briefly about where you've worked and where you came from and some of your experience?
So I've been a planner for about 5 years now. I graduated from Western Washington University from their urban planning and sustainable development program. I started my career working for the city of Blaine, which is right up on the US-Canada border. Similar, actually, I think they were a bit smaller than Snoqualmie, but had a kind of a similar feel with having a lot of tourism, being close to the border, and having, kind of the local atmosphere. I recently moved down from Bellingham to Seattle with my husband, and I was working for the city of Redmond in their current planning department, where I got kind of exposure to their historical and cultural resource program, as well as a lot of their environmental planning and shoreline planning processes. So I hope I bring a lot of experience that can be helpful for the city of Snoqualmie. And I've been really pleased with not just our group, but also all of city staff. So I think I'm going to stay a while. And I'm excited to work with you all.
Great.
And then Ashley, do you want to just kind of, because I think I introduced you last time, but I wasn't sure you had a chance to just kind of give them a little bit of your background.
Yeah, I've been with City of Snoqualmie for 10 months now. I joined last June. So I've seen the department go through some changes, but I'm happy to be a part of it. I graduated from Seattle Pacific University, where I studied political science. Right after that, I ran a coffee shop for a couple years, which was a really exciting and fun opportunity. But I knew I wanted to get into planning. So I switched to working for WashDOT, the State Department of Transportation, where I did procurement, something entirely different, before coming on board with the city of Snoqualmie. So I saw this as a foot in the door to get into planning, and it's given me more experience than I could have imagined. And I love our team, and our newest addition to the team, I think, will be a great mentor for me. So very excited to be here.
Yay. Okay. Thank you. Um, I don't know if you want me to tell this, Allison, but her husband is also a planner for another city in Snohomish County. We don't have to go into too much detail, but anyway, so it was kind of fun to hear her talk about how they like to, go on trips and geek out on planning together. Plus, it's another resource to bounce ideas off of. So we thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, see what they're doing up there. Yeah, so yeah, that's good. And then the next item on the agenda is something that, so Ashley's kind of she sees stuff that needs to get done and she just jumps in and figures it out. Because a lot of times I'm in meetings or she can't get a hold of me. And so people are calling and asking questions. And so she's been really great about diving into the code and just trying to figure things out and then coming and kind of downloading with me. So this is something that she's worked really hard on with a new business owner in the city. You've met these business owners before because we rolled out kind of what they were doing last December, but they've officially filed a formal application now. So I wanted to give Ashley an opportunity to just come and be able to present the sign permit and the variance application to you tonight. And so she's going to start out. I'm kind of jumping to the next item. Is that okay? She's going to start out kind of giving an overview with her staff report that's in your packet. And then she'll let the applicant also give a presentation to you tonight. And then they can both field questions, any questions that you may have.
Perfect. So let us know for the record then, we're moving on to item number 3, design review for new sign and variance request. So I'll turn it over to staff.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen and just show some of the renderings that Nick and Amy shared with us. And as Mona mentioned, Nick and Amy came in at a December meeting and showed you guys they showed 2 different signs that they wanted to do for their business. So they kind of dialed down on one sign that they want to do. So we'll view that this evening. Let me just share my screen. All right. All right. So Nick and Amy are opening the business called Retro Alley Arcade, which they came in and explained their business idea. And they'll go into further detail when they get a chance to present. So when we got this application in, Mona and I looked through the code to see if there was a design review process, which we realized our code is a bit lacking in. So we're hoping that with our new team, we can get more familiar and kind of dial down a process and work together with the Planning Commission to really create a good process together. And we have a few exciting applications in. We have Nick's tonight, and then we have 2 other applications that will go before the Planning Commission in the coming months. So more to come. So Nick and Amy are proposing signage for their business. This is a type 1 project. Permanent signage within the historic district is a type 1, which is typically reviewed as a staff decision. However, they are requesting a variance, so that's why we've brought it before the design review board. So to review the sign, we looked at chapter 17-75020, which is the general signs chapter. And then we also looked at 17.35.230, which is signs in the historic district. With the sign, they're also proposing an accent piece, which is this little Pac-Man symbol that you can see here. And upon staff review, we aren't considering this as part of the signage. It's more of an art piece rather than displaying signs related to the business. So we're not including that size within their signage size requirements. But I would like to note that they are using an approved color for that Pac-Man symbol. It's one of the yellows within the approved color palette. And it's also made of wood, which is something that is preferred within the historic district. So both positive things that will hopefully add to the historic district. So when reviewing this Retro Alley arcade sign, we looked at a few different code requirements, and it meets a majority of the requirements. It advertises the business. It uses an approved color, which is extra white, which is not a requirement for signs, but I think it adds to the historic district of keeping with that approved color palette. The sign will also be made of wood, which, as I stated, is preferred in the historic district. And then they are allowed one flat wall sign. So this is a flat wall sign. And then I'd also like to note that the applicant is aware of the lighting requirements within the historic district. It's overhead lighting, and we'll review that when the formal sign permit application comes in. It's not a part of this application. So the one part of the code that it does not meet is 1775020I, which states that signs in commercial zones shall not exceed 20 square feet. The proposed sign is 43 square feet. So I think when I did the calculation, it was about 53% over what's required. However, let me pull up on Google Maps. So this is what the street view looks like at the property address. So it's that white building in the back. And as you can see, it's pretty significantly set back from Falls Ave. It's the only building within the historic district that has a setback like that. So when staff reviewed it, we decided that due to that significant setback, that a variance would be justified for business visibility. So we see that there is a need for a variance, and we recommend approval of that variance. And I can show you, Nick shared with me a few different renderings. So there's this one with the street view, where you can see how the accent colors complement the other buildings. You can also see that the size of that sign, we believe that it was not excessive. It wasn't overly large to where that sign's kind of screaming in your face. It lets you know what the business is, and it's legible from Falls Ave. And let me pull up the other photos that Nick shared. So this is one of the photos that Nick shared, showing what it would look like up close. And then he included a little graphic of what a person would look like next to it. And then I'd also like to note that the building facade is using the approved color palette as well. And then this is what that Pac-Man graphic would look like. So staff feel that the variance is justified due to the building being set back, and the fact that this is a unique building within the historic district, and that other buildings would not need a variance with this justification. So that is our staff report and recommendation. I'd like to hand it over to Nick and Amy to give us their story and tell us a little bit more about the project.
Hi, I recognize most of you from the last meeting that we were here, but for anyone that's missed it, we are opening an arcade, basically an entertainment space. The idea is basically something for the community. We've got teenagers at home, and they have literally nothing to do most of the year, unless they like playing in the rain or the cold. So it's something that we were both passionate about, both being gamers, nerds, and kids of the 80s. Something that was really exciting, and we saw an opportunity. Our goal is to try and keep it as affordable as possible, something that's easy for folks to just jump in, maybe they want to drop off their kids while they go out and do something. Parents can visit the brewery or an Aho or any of the other local restaurants and stuff. We're also going to have a party room or a space that can be rented for kind of just about anything. Yeah, we're really excited about it. We're going to have some food and snacks and stuff, but mostly just packaged things in the back of our room, just kind of relax and have something for people to do if they just want to sit. Or parents have young kids that are running around and they just want to sit and relax.
I think Ashley covered pretty well.
Yeah, yeah, she nailed it as she often does.
Do you have an opening date that you're anticipating?
So we are just about to start full construction finally. We had some setbacks with the rain in the last couple months that got into the space, so that was an ordeal. But now we've got it all cleaned it up and ready to go. So our general contractor has been in there bringing materials over the last few days, and yeah, we're scheduled next week to have a screw start filling everything out. We're hoping for kind of a soft launch in mid-June and then fully opening in July.
That's great. We're really excited to have you.
I'm really excited to have us too.
Any questions from the commissioners? No? Okay. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
For staff, let me open it up. Vice Chair Kilcup, any questions?
No, I appreciate just the need for this, for that distance, for visibility, for the viability of the business, and but thank you for explaining it so clearly.
Commissioner Maruzia?
No, what she said.
Commissioner Hurley?
Thank you for being so thorough. I'm good.
And Commissioner Lambert?
Yeah, I think this is a reasonable ask. It will only affect this one building.
Yeah. I think the only question I had, I'm pretty confident in the answer, but when we look at page 6 at that Google or that Street View rendering, is it accurate to say that that is scaled? And so like we're getting an accurate sense of literally what it would look like from the street size wise? Okay, that's great. Doesn't seem excessive. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Well, in that case, put a motion on the floor. I move that we approve the variance as requested.
Seconded.
Can I get a second? Okay, second, by Commissioner Hurley. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? None? Motion passes.
Yay.
Very excited.
So did you bring a copy of the staff report or the decision that we can have Chair Testman sign before he leaves tonight? Because it would be nice to have that. Or does he need to sign that, or do we?
Does it say in the code?
We have some code work to do, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There.
We have record of their approval, so we're probably good. We don't need to sign anything formally then.
Not that I
Okay.
saw within the code.
Maybe I'm
yeah.
confusing that with the one that you're bringing at the next meeting where we will have to have you sign it. So,
Excuse me, just, when I was previously chair, after one of these meetings would approve it, usually the day after I'd get like one of those DocuSign
oh,
things.
a document,
And
yeah.
it would document that on this date, and here was the vote. And so I just acknowledge that as the chair.
Oh,
That's how you-
okay. Okay, that's good to know. I think I've seen one of those,
Okay.
so maybe we can dig and find one and then just send it to you to sign. I thought it would just be easier since he was here tonight to have him sign it and scan it.
Yeah, I only have the staff report, which doesn't have a space for a signature, but we can put something together and get
Okay,
a
and
signature.
then
Thank
we'll
you for
send
that
it to you.
input.
Okay, perfect.
Well, great job. Very thorough, so thank you. All right, so that concludes item 3, design review for new sign and variance request. Let us move on to council liaison report with Councilmember Murphy.
Thanks, Chair Tessman. So our last full council meeting was cleared to take public comment on the proposed battery energy storage system in unincorporated King County. We had several hours of community dialogue on that topic, and the matter was referred to the Finance Administration Committee, who is working on next steps. In addition, Community Development Committee just had a really great kind of kickoff of sorts related to some of the comp plan amendment work plan that will take place in the coming months. Some really exciting stuff that's going to come the Planning Commission's way and the CD Committee. And I don't know if Director Davis has anything else to add on that, but it looks like a very robust work plan related to zoning and mixed use and a number of items. So more to come on that.
Perfect. I'll open it up for questions if you didn't have anything else.
That's it.
Okay. Vice Chair Coco?
Can you say anything about what was sent over to finance, or is it mum's the word?
No, nothing was sent over. It was just that the subject was referred to their committee. So that's the committee that's tackling the issue right now.
Got it. Okay.
Commissioner Marizia?
No questions.
Commissioner Hurley? Commissioner Lambert? No? As it works its way through committee, I think regardless of the ultimate outcome of this specific project, I think something commission would be looking for guidance on would be any work that would be desired by the commission on the urban growth area and the city's view on that and potential actions to maybe regulate that more than currently exists if there is an opportunity. So I would just ask that to be an item of discussion among council.
Yeah, I know it was something that CD committee has already talked a bit about. So I'm sure that will be woven into a couple of different work streams.
Thank you so much. All right. I think that concludes. Thank you so much, Councilmember Murphy. At this time, turn over to Director Davis for department report.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So yeah, just to follow up on what Councilmember Murphy said, we're working right now on trying to contract with a consultant that can come in and then pretty much create a scope of work for us. And then I'll be bringing that back to the council committee and then taking that to council to get a approval for the consultant contract essentially. And then from there, I'm expecting that the consultant will prepare a scope of work that will kind of outline everything that we need to do as far as a timeline, and that I will be bringing that to the Planning Commission, as well as they will probably come and present, as far as how we're going to proceed. We'll have to kind of work that out. So I don't really know what to tell you at this point other than it's been an ongoing, like I'm feeling like the clock is ticking away and we needed to have started on that work in January. And so I know I've been saying this for months, but we had a few hiccups with just, the change of the mayor and just trying to get everybody up to speed and what needed to be done. So we definitely have, we have our PSRC conditional approval. It outlines the steps on going through the zoning map, going through our future land use map, doing our housing and our land use elements that I don't believe were ever covered as part of our comprehensive plan update in 2024. So we'll be bringing all of that back as part of this contract, but a lot of things will kind of overlap and they will all roll in together. So, we'll be discussing as we're going through like the zoning map, for example, and figuring out what the built environment is up on the ridge. That will spark probably conversations around housing and future land use needs, to bring in and meet our targets for housing and business growth. So I feel like a lot of that will all roll into the conversation as we start diving into that work. So I should have more information to share with you, hopefully in early May, I'm hoping. So I also wanted to mention so today we heard about the retro arcade, and then at the next Planning Commission meeting, Allison's going to be bringing the mini treehouse before you for design review. As you may recall, she also Jana, the owner, came in December, the same night that these guys did, to talk about the container storage in the back. And so they brought in some renderings, and so Allison will be bringing that to you for design review at the next meeting. And then we also have a new development that was just recently submitted for design review, and that is for live work units that's on the property that's next to State Farm. So right on Railroad, and I'm trying to think of that cross street there, but yeah, I'm trying to blank, but you guys know where it's at. Yeah, it's right by the State Farm. But anyway, so we'll be working on that, and that will probably come to you in May. We just needed to give Allison a little bit of time to come in and figure out like what we were doing. So I also wanted to mention that our department, at the request of police and fire, our department started preparing a monthly report that we send to police and fire that basically outlines all the permits that we issue, including new businesses and certificates of occupancy. And again, Ashley is the brains behind this project and has done a great job in pulling a report together. And so I thought you might be interested to know that in the last couple months, Down to Earth Florist has received their certificate of occupancy. Have you all seen that new business on Railroad? It's a really beautiful floral company. So they kind of branched off and moved the Down to Earth portion of the florist portion of that business down to this new location on Railroad. And then the old Down to Earth Florist rebranded and became Wit and Company. And so now they do, like, I think there's still like gifts and plants and like home decor and stuff like that. But the actual florist portion was sold and has moved down to another location on Railroad. So if you get a chance, please check it out. It's really beautiful. And then the mini tree house has moved from back off of Falls Avenue. They're now in their new location on Railroad, and they also received their certificate of occupancy. So I'm really excited about that. And we issued the food truck temporary use permit for 6 months. We'll see how that goes. We did have a couple of, so the River Trail project that Dylan's working on that he presented to you, I think in January, maybe it was February. We acquired a house, another house along the riverfront. So that was demoed probably in the last couple weeks. And then we have another riverfront property that's over on, oh gosh, now I'm gonna forget it's on Park Street. And I think that one is in process of getting ready to be demoed. So as we acquire more properties that are in our riverfront acquisition area, that will allow us to continue the river walk trail throughout the city. So you may see a couple houses coming down. I'm sure you may have noticed the one on Railroad in the last couple weeks. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that you might, so up on Center Boulevard where the Infusion was, that is going to be a new restaurant with a golf simulator business. And so they've come in for a tenant improvement. So I just thought I would kind of update you on some of the things that were currently happening in case people ask. I'm always happy to help answer those questions. Any of us could help answer questions like that if you get calls. The Rails that's right across the street from City Hall, they just received a temporary certificate of occupancy on Friday. So they've already had some of their tenants moving in over the weekend. So that's starting to get populated. They still have a little bit of work to do, which is why they haven't received their full certificate of occupancy yet. But anyway, those are just some of the things I thought I would mention as far as like what's going on in the city, things that are happening, things that you can expect to be seeing in the next couple of meetings. We are trying, it's really helpful, you know, as we're starting to staff up now. And I was really thrilled to hear that Allison was interested in doing, you know, historic preservation type work. As you may recall, Andrew had started working on, you know, getting us back in, you know, into conformance with our ILA with the King County Historic Preservation Board. And then he left and we've never had enough capacity to pick that back up. So at some point I would expect that Allison will, you know, have time to dive in and then be able to bring that back and work with the King County Historic Preservation Board to get us back on track on that. And she's also really interested in doing more work in the floodplain. And so we have, you know, we have a lot of stuff down here in the floodplain. And so it'll take you a while to get up to speed, but I have no doubt that, you know, you will rise to the occasion. So I'm expecting that as time goes on and as we start working through some of the work that we have to do for the comp plan, that will trigger code updates. And so I had anticipated that those code updates would be happening like this summer and fall, but since we're getting a little bit of a later start with doing this work, it might be early next year, but maybe we can get it done this year. I know there's a lot of heavy lifts that we've got to try to figure out how to accomplish, but just know that, you know, we appreciate you all being here and volunteering for this position. And I feel like I've been kind of struggling since I came in this position just to try to keep us busy. And we had a good little role there for a while when we had Andrew Love working for us as a consultant. But I think we're going to get back on track. So anyway, just wanted to let you know. And if you have any questions ever, feel free to email me or call me, and I'm happy to weigh in and tell you what I know. So, yes.
It's okay.
Commissioner
So
Mezia.
so just one question in reference to the comp plan amendment update. Is the mill site, since it's a not yet built area that we've been talking about for several years, included in that conversation?
It will be because they have a development agreement in place. And so there is designated housing that was, you know, in the development agreement that they've committed to putting in, including affordable housing. So yes, that will be weighed in the discussion.
Well, and the zoning of it, because it hasn't changed in probably 10 years.
We'd have to look at the development agreement to see what that says, but I'm not sure what it is zoned at the moment. But I know they're proposing like retail, maybe some commercial industrial type uses and residential. So I don't know if they were proposing to zone it mixed use, what it's zoned now. I'd have to look into that. I haven't really, there hasn't been a lot of activity on that site. So I haven't, you know, I've been concentrating on other things, but I'm sure it will be part of the discussion.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah.
from a timing perspective,
Mhm.
a change on the ridge is likely to take longer than a not yet built site if you needed
Right.
to do something. So I just
Right.
ought to be in the discussion.
So the changes on the ridge, I mean, the entire ridge is zone mixed use. So we're looking at, the consultant will come in and do a land analysis study that will determine like what's built there now and what would be the appropriate densities. That may entail creating new zoning designations for those densities because we're kind of limited on the zoning designations we have on our zoning map now. So I anticipate we'll be creating new ones and that will require new code amendments to accommodate that. So that will all be part of the discussion. Yeah.
All good, Commissioner Mezia.
Good, yeah.
Vice Chair Kuka.
So for the commission, I talked to Director Davis and I told her I very much would like to help with this and the contract that's coming on. So just for transparency. And then what was the question I had? In terms of the benchmarks that we're trying to hit, from the city perspective, we just have to make it possible to build, right? In terms of, I'm specifically thinking of the affordable housing number that we have to hit, but we just have to create the opportunity for that many housing units to be built. They don't have to actually get built in a certain time frame, right?
Yes, I believe so. I mean, I feel we have to show that we have the capacity to build those units and
Right.
where that would be located.
Right, where
Yeah.
we've allowed the zoning.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
I just, thank you.
Mhm.
That's it.
Commissioner Hurley?
I was wondering if we could get a couple of updates, either today or at a subsequent meeting about the Eagle Lake Public Works project that's going on, the water tank they're building.
Mm.
I was also wondering if we can get an update on the railroad museum, not the railroad museum, the model train museum.
Oh,
that
the
was
model
proposed
train
last year. I was
museum.
curious where that was at as well.
Yes, so Peter Hamling is still working on fundraising efforts. He's actually hired a new, I don't really remember what his title is, but I met him last week. He came in, they popped in and made introductions, but he's very knowledgeable. He's built other museums in the state. So he's very knowledgeable about the grant funding that's available for these types of museums. And he's also doing a lot of the fundraising efforts. So I feel like that's moving forward. Um, they're not ready to submit like their site plan application yet, but they're at least making headway on trying to gather the funds to do so. So I feel like that's going forward pretty well. One thing that might be of interest is the Northwest Railway Museum is working to have some of their tracks replaced. So they went through this process last year in North Bend, and now they're working their way through Snoqualmie. So there may be some road closures throughout the summer as they're replacing tracks. I think along in front of the parkway is designated sometime during the summer. King Street.
Parkway Crossing.
Yes, so there will be more information coming about that. You'll see that probably posted on our website, some social media. You may have noticed there's been an uptick in our social media too. We have a new communications coordinator, manager. I'm not sure what his title is exactly, but he is. It's been kind of fun to see all the new uptick of new social media that's coming out on Facebook. Very informative information. So if you're not, I mean, I think he does Facebook and Instagram. So what was the other one?
The Eagle Lake Public
the Eagle
Works.
Lake. I don't know where we're at on that project. That's a public works project. So, I mean, I could find some information out and report it back at the next meeting.
That'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome.
Vice Chair Koga?
Just one other thing. I loved hearing the different updates of like what's moving, who's moved and tenant, C of O, TCO, all that.
State of the city, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I like hearing all those things. It's nice to know. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Commissioner Lambert?
Nothing for me, thank you.
All good? Okay. Nothing from me, just the progress on Riverwalk is noticeable.
Okay.
And like I saw that bridge was installed. It's really exciting. So it's great to
Yeah.
see that progress.
Yeah, that's a Dylan Gamble project. So he's doing a great job on that.
Awesome. Okay, no more questions in for Director Davis. All right, that concludes department report. Thank you so much, Director Davis. At this time, as time 7:41 p.m., I move that we adjourn the Planning Commission meeting for April 6, 2026. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion passes. Thank you.